everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I am reading on today. But before we get started, you know what to do. Go right down here, go in your settings and find your subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. What are you waiting on? Go ahead. You come back every day. You might as well go ahead and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis. We all know what it is. It's that unrelenting beast of an algorithm. I really, really would appreciate it. And right here is our join button. That is for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of our reading club, you're going to support my little channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful for that support. All right, y'all. With all that said, let's get to the read. And when I was putting the read together today, y'all know what I do. I do it every day. I be in these internet streets. And I must say the streets are kind of hot because the squatties are they are still upset about that article and this latest hit on Meghan. They are just smoking hot about it. And I must say, I am too. And so we're going to talk a lot about that today. Since Prince Harry was quiet today, we're going to focus in on some of the things that we hadn't really been able to drill down in on because we have been focusing on Prince Harry because, when he is out and about, it's about him this week. But since none of that is going on today, we can drill down on some of this other nonsense. So, with all that said, and of course, I made my rounds on the internet streets. Y'all know the rounds I make. I was over on Instagram, over on Twitter, well, X, formerly known as Twitter. Did I go over to the dark side? I don't think so. I think I'm still protecting my peace on that. I think I decided to protect my peace, to continue to protect my peace, because I'm telling you, if I see Angela Levin saying some old nonsense thing, my blood pressure go up. And so I am going to avoid that today, but I will be going back over to the dark side, just not right now. But I was mostly on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I read quite a few articles, and I have a couple of articles that I'm going to bring to y'all. But mostly I stayed on X. And what's going on X is the squatties are still dragging that Hollywood Reporter article and the co-editor that wrote it and his connections with the sun. And well, we'll go over that, but I'm gonna put his picture up right here. This old straggly looking dude here. And like yesterday, well, let me refresh you what he wrote in the Hollywood Reporter. He was talking about Meghan was this horrible, horrible bully, that she was a dictator in heels, and just talking about, I mean, just dug that old horse up about her being Duchess difficult. And I thought we had buried that horse deep, 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 but they will not let it go. And the squatties are just incensed about it because we all know why this is happening. It's because Harry is on the world stage and they're coming for his Achilles heel. And what is his Achilles heel? Is his love for his wife and his family. So they coming for his wife. And it's coming straight from his brother, which is sad but true. This is who he is. It's hard for me to understand. Now, William was right there with his mother. He saw his mother go through all this nonsense because I think William was like 15. Now, Harry was 12, almost about to turn 13 when his mother was taken away from him. And everybody knows my feelings about what happened there. I really feel like it's too many people made out too good about, with Diana not being here. They got to do exactly what they wanted to do. And I just don't believe in coincidence. I think if you are a rational thought, a rational thinking person, you don't believe in coincidences. And I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't believe that Diana up and was involved in this accident, and it just worked out for Charles and his horse so well. But I digress. I just don't understand how William can be like he is. He saw how the press did his mother. He saw the suffering that she had to go through because of her excellence, because she was a woman of substance in a family of mediocrity. And so they said he used to be her closest confidant, that he would stick while she was crying from something that was said in the newspaper. And it was some stuff said in the newspaper. And I'm going to put one of them up here. They called Diana a whore. And they called her a lot of things and said that she should be like Camilla. Yeah, they said that to her. To be like that horse, who we all know is the most raggediest woman it is. You have to be a trifling, raggedy to be drunk on the streets of Scotland, and you are the Queen of the United Kingdom. So I don't think Diana needed to be like her because Diana was extraordinary. And like that, her legacy, her lasting legacy has proven that. So, I said all that to say this. William went through that with his mother. And for him to then turn around and become his father, persecuting the way his father persecuted his mother, he is doing that to his brother and his wife. Why? Because of their excellence. That's why. His jealousy. And that's why Charles did what he did to Diana. It was because of jealousy. This small man, in every way, every sense that you can imagine, Charles is small. He could not handle that his wife was this exceptional person. He should have been proud of her, saying, look, like Harry said, look what I had found. Look what I found. No, Charles didn't want to say that. Charles looked at his own wife as competition. It is the most twisted concept. I mean, your mind, you have to have a very twisted mind for that. And this is the same thing that's going on with William. William has a very twisted mind. He sees his own brother as competition. For God's sake, he is going to be the king of the United Kingdom. It's just the most ridiculous thing in my life. Of course, it's no qualifications for that because only qualification you have is to slip out of the birth canal. But yet and still, he's going to be that. Why are you having a problem with your brother? And Harry said it's a lifelong problem with his brother. And so he is doing all these dirty tricks like he's doing now, enlisting his blind monkeys to attack his brother's wife because his brother is shining on the world stage. Harry said that him and William was on different paths. Why is William so jealous? He's on a totally different path than Harry is. But he don't want Harry to have nothing. He don't want him to have anything on his path or anything on the path that Harry has created for himself. It is the most twisted thing I have ever witnessed. And it's just something within that family. It's almost like a brain worm or something that they just think like this. It is crazy. And I think I may be wrong, but that might be the rub when it comes to William and Kate. Because Kate, before she acquired her convenient cancer, Kate wasn't going anywhere with William anymore. William was going by himself. He wanted all eyes on him. And why they want all eyes on them, I just can't get it. I mean, you have to be so insecure and hollow inside to have the need, have that hole that cannot be filled. And that's what it is when you look at everybody as competition, you look at popularity as the end all to be all, and you have to have the praise of others. It is a empty hole in your soul that you are trying to fill that will never be filled. And he wants to fill it with the dried bones of his brother, I believe. It is crazy. But I said all that to say this. It is hard for me to understand why William don't see that he is repeating. He's repeating the same thing that his father has done. And as a result of that, the monarchy is so unpopular. People don't like them. They like Harry. I saw a guy I did see this panel, but I saw it on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I will bring it to you. I'll try to bring it to you in the next podcast, but I got so much in this podcast, I just could not fit it in. Because I be wanting to talk to y'all about a whole lot of stuff. I be finding all kinds of stuff, and I be like, I got to share. I got to share. So, and I don't want my podcast to get so long that nobody be interested in it anymore. So I try to, edit out a lot of things, but I will try to get to that one. I did bookmark it. So I will try to fit it into tomorrow's podcast. But they were just admitting that they still love Harry. They just don't like his wife that he chose, but they love Harry. Somebody she didn't give him a chance to get to know her. Yeah, she did. She gave you a chance, and y'all decided to destroy her on the demands, on the desires of William and Charles and his horse, because Meghan reminded them of Diana. When she came into the room, all eyes was on her, not because she desired it or she required it. It was just because she was an interesting person. And the same for Harry. And you put those two together, then you get all the flash bulbs. You do. And they could not handle it. And so here's where we're at. They William is taking on the same strategy that his father used against his mother. I wonder, do he ever think about that? But he was raised by the firm, and they probably have just gotten that out of him. I wouldn't be surprised if William now really think that everything was his mother's fault. I would not be surprised or shocked by that. Because you don't see William really talking about his mother or lifting his mother up like Harry does. I mean, it's not, Harry doesn't have too many interviews without bringing up his mother and how he wants her to be proud of him, that's what motivates him. But not so much with we. I'm just saying. But yes, the squatties are still angry and mad about this particular article. And his name is Mara Roshan, Mara Oshan, Mara Roshan. I'll get it right in a minute. I told y'all have to give me some grace with these names. It's nobody's name Susie or Jane or Jake or something like that anymore. It's all these other names, and Grace, please, Grace. His name is Mara Roshan. And like I said yesterday, this was an orchestrated hit on Meghan to try to hit Harry in his Achilles heel, which is his wife, because that's one thing too. William is super, super jealous of him. Is his relationship with Meghan, how she loves him. And he knows that the mannequin that he married, she was just trying to marry up. That was her motivation. And Meghan actually loves Harry because if she wanted what Harry could offer was, to walk around in all those stolen jewels and be at those old boring parties and being at Trooping of the Colors and stuff like that, Meghan would have stayed. She would have stayed. But none of that was important to her because that wasn't the reason why she was there. She was there for the man. And where she was there, she took with her. She took her man with her. And so that is one rub of William. To see them love one another. He don't have that. He doesn't have it. And that's why he was on that video, that shampoo commercial, pretending like he had it, but he just couldn't pull it off. He couldn't. His face just told the story of that nonsense video of theirs, which is just laughable. As time goes by, it gets funnier and funnier and lamer. It's hilarious. But yeah, this guy, these are his connections. I said it yesterday. He worked for the Sun, Murdoch's paper. He got his break with Tina Brown on the Talk magazine, which Tina Brown started the Daily Beast. I think she still is a partner in it or something like that. And so there's a connection there also with Tom Sykes. He then went to find the Radar Online with Dylan Howard, and we all have heard of Dylan Howard, what he did. Yeah, Dylan Howard, who enlisted Thomas Markle to stop the wedding. And we know this because Thomas Markle said it on national TV in Australia that this is what Dylan Howard did. I'm not just sitting up here just talking and saying that, yeah, this is what happened. They literally tried to stop Harry from marrying Meghan. They sent the flying monkeys down to Mexico, where Thomas Markle sold his daughter out for money, I believe. My belief, that it was a lot of money exchange and a lot of favors, if you know what I mean. Uh, I really, really believe that. And he did that. And they literally tried to stop the wedding. Thomas Markle said it on national TV. And then the next day, they got on there and absolutely wanted to try to erase the fact that we had heard what we heard, and they scrubbed the video, but no, it's out there for eternity because it's some squatties and some, I guess, good people, because they even took the guy he did a video on it, they took it off of YouTube. So yeah, but it's out there. They didn't get all of it because I see it from time to time on X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, it's out there. And it says he and so no, there's no mole. It's Knopf and it's KP. And that's exactly what it is. This is Jason Knopf. And I also think it's Lee Thompson too, because that whole thing with Kate Middleton's brother being on the Today Show today, with that, you know, trying to sell that book to Americans. Ain't nobody gonna want to buy no book about him and his dog. But I digress. But yeah, and you know they always talk about trying to ride on the coattails of royalty. What is he doing? Just saying. But my whole thing is, I really believe that Lee Thompson really pulls a lot of strings because he has a lot of connections, because he was well connected at NBC. So I think it's a combination of a lot of people working sinisterly to try to derail Harry and Meghan. But it will fail, as it has always failed. And because, I always say what my grandmother say, God don't like ugly and he ain't too fond of pretty. And the famous Nene Leakes said you don't win playing dirty. And they're not going to win playing dirty. They just not. But let's go on. All right, and we all know about this. Megan, her PR team, her management pushing back and allowed the employees, a lot of I think it was five ex-employees and two or three, um, uh, five that was on the record and three anonymous ones, I think it was, but all of them said that Megan was a sweet person. Harry and Megan, very sweet, very kind people. We all know that. We can see that. Anybody who has any kind of reasoning about them can see that. But when you have a certain element of woman who is pretty much dried up and to the point where, they've been on the shelf for a long time and nobody wants them, and they always had dreams of marrying a prince. And then this woman of color comes along and has this life that they only have dreamt about and feel like they would be entitled to it before her because she is a woman of color. It is people who have a problem with women of color having nice things. It is just the way it is. And when they happen to marry a man that they think is a high quality man and he marries a woman of color, they all have a problem with that because they feel somehow entitled. And then you get nonsense like the little teeth, big teeth. You get the lady who looks like she's on the they used her to model the nickel after the face of Thomas Jefferson on the nickel. Okay, and isn't it Thomas Jefferson on the nickel? I think so. And then you get and she's a C, but she's not a lady, but she calls herself a lady. That one, that's the one that looks like the nickel. And you get all of these, you spawn all of these people who are nothing but jealous, who encourages and who spawns even more people who pretty much life has left behind. And they met with Megan because of her lifestyle. And I got an article that's going to really, lay that bare. But let's go on with this. So I put this tweet up here. It says, now Prince William's cheerleader attacks Harry's wife. Make no mistake, this comes from Prince William. Exactly it. It does. It does. And it's because he's a Karen. He is a Karen. He's a hater. His brother's success makes him feel bad. It hurts his soul. It's some people like that. That's what I'm saying. This certain element of woman who sees a black woman or a woman of color being successful, having expensive things, living a very soft lifestyle. They have a problem with that. They do because it hurts. You get down there, it hurts their soul. And they make YouTube channels and they get on there and they talk all kind of crap and make things up to make themselves feel better. They got one on there. Her name is Steph the Nerd, I think, or something like that. She looked like She looked like this. Her teeth look like they throwing gang signs, and she's up there talking about Meghan, and she has a heavy accent that you can't hardly understand what she's saying. I don't know if it's her accents or if all them teeth she got in her mouth. I don't know which one it is, but I can't understand nothing that's coming out of it. Just saying. But it spawns people like that. It spawns people like that. And, when the monarchy goes down in flames, they're not going to be able to blame Harry. They're going to have to blame themselves because they spawn these people. They spawn these people out of their jealousy and hate. And like I said, all this nonsense comes straight from William. And he should be ashamed of himself. But let's go on. And what I was talking about was this article from Tom Sykes. If you see the cup in the corner, all the salty tears. And this particular article was extremely vicious. It's because William is extremely angry. He is losing and he doesn't like it. And he takes his brother's success as a personal affront to him. He is a Karen. He feels like what his brother has shouldn't be his brother's, it should be his. And he didn't have any legitimate reason to justify that. He hadn't worked hard. He hadn't made these connections. He hadn't created these businesses or created these charities or made any effort to create a charity that would be equal to what Harry has done. He hadn't done any of that, but he still somehow feels that it's undeserving of Harry to have, and he should have it. This is the kind of logic that you are dealing with when you are dealing with these people. And so that's why I have said Harry and Meghan, well, Meghan should let her PR people off the chain. They need to find out why this article in the Hollywood Reporter was written in the first place. They need to run that string to the ground. They need to follow it to where it came from and expose everyone along the way. And then they'll stop it. And then they'll stop it. Because squatties, look what squatties have dug up so far. It's not that hard. They need to be exposed. Long as you allow people to operate in the darkness like cockroaches that they are. Have you ever saw a picture and you click the light on and the cockroaches scatter? Yeah, because they are happily working in the dark with their vermin and diseases, and whatever else cockroach carries. I don't even know. But anyway, but they're happy in the dark. But when you turn the light on, they scramble. The light needs to be turned on. Ari Emanuel needs to be allowed to turn the light on. I'm saying that to the universe. Hopefully, Meghan will feel it. I know she'll never hear it, but maybe she'll feel it because something needs to be done. Look, this is the name of the article. Former employees of Demon boss Meghan Markle recall psycho moments. This is where William is. I knew he was unraveling when they wrote that other article about F the haters, F the press, and F Harry and Meghan. How totally off the mark is that? And then this. He is getting worse and worse and worse. And look at him. He is really unwinding. He's circling the drain and nobody wants to say anything about it. When you start putting stuff out there, he is the crown prince of the United Kingdom. He is going to be king, and he is going to people telling them to write F the haters, the word, F the press, and F Harry and Meghan, his brother who has done nothing to him. And now he's over there with his cup of salty tears doing this, calling his wife a demon, calling his brother's wife a demon, and talking about some kind of psycho moments. Knowing too, if anybody who's ever saw how Meghan moves knows that this is so far fetched and off the mark, it's ridiculous. But he, in his fever dream of destroying his brother and his wife, he is getting more and more desperate, and his words are getting more and more horrible, to be honest. That's why I have said it from the beginning. Harry don't need to have nothing to do with them people. They always write and talk about they don't want to have nothing to do with Harry. He's not going to see his brother and his father when he comes to go, to the UK and stuff like that. Like that is some big flex on Harry. But in actuality, I be saying, thank God Harry ain't going over there, because Harry has so much grace. If they asked him, to go see his father, who is supposedly stricken with cancer, but I think he's trying to get the stench of racism off of him. But I digress. Harry would go over there. But my only hope is that Meghan and Doria school him about not eating them folks' food. I said at the end of my podcast every day, because he shouldn't be over there at all, because William is getting more and more psychotic as time goes on. And he is not behaving in the manner of somebody who is going to be king. Look how, I'm going to put it over here. Look how he was acting at that football game. All that screaming and acting out. What is that about? It's not becoming of someone who is going to be king. He always talking about I'm taking my lead from the example of my grandmother. The queen would never do that. I even saw people on panels saying that the queen would never behave in such a manner. But here he is. It's the most ridiculous thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into this article because it's all old rehashed nonsense. The same old horse. He been dead for what, almost 5 years, and he is stinking. But yet and still, they love to drag him out and beat him. And it's the same thing. But like I said yesterday, he sprinkles in what was said in the U.S. Weekly article about the people who actually went on the record. But then he wants to try to somehow make unnamed sources be more powerful than people who is actually saying what they got to say and putting their name to it. Stop it. Stop it right now. I mean, it's nonsense. And like I said, I have said this time and time again. If William wasn't so diabolical, I would feel sorry for him, because he is unraveling and nobody will help him. Somebody need to get him, because he is in a tailspin. And anybody, like I said, who knows anything about mental health issues can see that. He is. All right, let's keep going. And I saw this tweet right here. It said, they made her suicidal, but that's not enough. They want her dead. And I saw that panel today. They were talking about how they still love Harry, but they don't like the woman he with. And guess why? because they know that Meghan has triggered growth in Harry. Harry is not the same person he was. They want their little cheeky Harry back, but Harry's still cheeky. But he's not gonna put up with your nonsense. He's not gonna put up with William and Charles' foot on his neck anymore. He's not gonna wear all those clothes from TK Maxx. He want Dior. Harry's been wearing Dior shirts. Okay, Harry is not doing that no more. He's not gonna stay in a shack no more. He's staying in a mansion, and he's not gonna allow you to control his activities because now he can do whatever he wants to, and he can fly as high as he chooses to fly. You cannot clip his wings anymore. Harry, y'all can say you love Harry all you want to. Harry's not coming back to that nonsense. And that's what I agree with this. And that's what they wanted with Diana. They said Diana was a problem. Diana said it on that interview, that panorama interview, that she had became a problem. Diana was so unprotected. Her boys was small. She didn't have nobody to protect her, but Harry will protect Meghan to his last breath. And so will the Sussex squad. And Meghan is in America. They better not bring that nonsense over here. I'm just saying. Because they got away with it with Diana. Not this time. Just telling you. All right, let's go on what else she said. She said for more than 7 years, they have been insulting her, name calling her, uh, denigrating her, bullying her, and spreading lies and made up stories about her 24/7. But Meghan is the bad one, the demon. Yeah, they done did all that to her, but she's the bad one. She's a demon. And this particular lady, somebody came to her and she said, I've been asked by various medias to write and contribute to articles accusing Meghan of manipulation, coercive control, exploiting Harry's mental health struggles. I said no to this. Shame, shame others don't. P.S. Beware anyone proposing to be a celebrity psychologist. Yeah, that's what they've been doing. They wanted to get a so-called psychologists to get on television to say that Meghan is a narcissist. Meghan has all kinds of, she's controlling Harry. I have even saw them say that Meghan had some kind of spell on him, some kind of voodoo or something. They think all black people, just because we have African descent. That's what is this? Something that exotic DNA. These people are crazy, crazy. And talk about he's been well, how did they put it? He's been hypnotized. No, he saw a woman he loved, and she felt like home to him. She felt like what had been missing for him. Somebody who really, really loved him, like his mom did. He had been missing that, because he hadn't had it since his mom died. He didn't get it from any. The closest he got it from was the queen, and he said he could never hug her, his own grandmama, because she was the queen. When his mom died, his dad did not even hug him. Put his hands on his knee and said she didn't make it, and left the room. That's what Harry had to deal with. But luckily, Diana had instilled and just poured so much love into him, he remembered how it felt. And when he found Meghan, he recognized that. He remembered how it felt. He said, "Oh, it feels like this." Yeah. So Meghan's been through a lot. She's been through a lot. All right. And this one says William and Kate, in a nutshell, are jealous of Harry and Meghan. Kate is a green eyed monster. She can't stand the thought of Meghan being more successful than she is, both in her private and professional life. Prince William can only dream of the freedom of freedoms his brother has. William, well, I'm going to talk about Kate first. Kate's problem is that she was raised to get a man. That's it. She wasn't raised to have any kind of ambitions past getting a man, marrying up. I don't want to talk really ugly about Kate, but we all have saw the pictures that are going around. Kate with all these different men with money. We done saw them. I'm going to put one of them right there. It was all about the come up for Kate. Kate was raised to be about the come up because if she hadn't hurried up, they wasn't going to be able to hold that lifestyle up for too much longer because it eventually it collapsed. And now they owe everybody. The militants do. But it's all about the come up for Kate. So Kate don't have the skills. She can't compete with Meghan. Meghan Meghan used to work at the embassy in Argentina, speaking Spanish fluently. Meghan graduated from an Ivy League college. Meghan was, I think she was a double major. Meghan is no joke. Meghan was doing what Kate cannot do at 13. Meghan is an exceptional person. Meghan had addressed the UN. Meghan, and then she had a successful television show that she's starting. She had a successful blog that made her big money. I mean, Meghan is a go getter. She just is. And so, she makes Kate feel bad about herself. She does. And she makes a lot of people feel bad about themselves because they look at her and they look at themselves. They use Meghan's measuring stick to measure themselves by, and they come up short. And they hate her for that. They hate her for that. And that's why Kate does. That's why she did that little stepping in on that walkabout. She was so mad with Meghan. I saw that. A lot of squatters were talking about that today, too. They brought that up. And y'all, I don't know how I felt about that. I said they had she stepped in on the right one because it's some woman, and it was a woman on there said that she did she stepped in on the right one because if she had stepped in on a New Yorker, it would have been a whole different story. And like I said, it's some people, and I'm not saying who, but if some people she had stepped in on, they would have been moving that car. That car would have when she her foot touched the ground, that car would have been 2-3 feet back because they would have absolutely let her know that no ma'am, what's your problem? But she got the right one with Meghan. Because Meghan is better than a lot of us. I don't know. She is better than me. I said that about my mama too. My mom is well, she's no longer with us, but she was the most gracious, loving, kind, sweet person. And I am that too. But I don't have the patience that she had. And I always say that she was always a better woman than me. I always strive to be like her because I recognize that she's better than me. And I don't have a problem with people who are better than me. I'll use them as examples, as measurements for me to strive to be better. Some people feel like if somebody's better than them or they behave better, that they hate them for it. That's what I have a problem with. But yeah, Megan is better than me. I strive to be better every day. But I'm telling you, and from the looks of the people talking about it on Twitter, Megan is better than a whole lot of people. I'm just saying. All right, let's go on. And so, what did I want to talk about? And then one thing else about that walkabout the squatters are talking about, and then uh, Kate had the nerve to try to play victim after she was the one who tried to bully Megan that day. And they said, look at how she's behaving and how Megan stepped back. That shows who the real bully is. That shows who the real bully is. And like I said, she got the right one in Megan. But then they squatters were saying then she want to play victim, talking about that was the hardest day she ever had was to do that walkabout with Megan. Playing the victim. Playing the victim card. She'll play some cards now. We all know she'll play the cancer card and she'll play the victim card. She'll play all them cards. She just got a deck of them. But I digress. But yeah, so the squatties are talking about that. They had a problem with that too, which I did too. Yeah. But let's go on. And then, they also talked about how Kate treated her. You remember when they were doing that polo? And I believe, and Megan brought the baby out. The baby was small then. And I believe the press was just clamoring to see Archie. It was as if they was obsessed with Archie. And I believe, you remember Megan looked so cute in that. She had on a green, I'm going to put the picture up here and how Kate wouldn't even talk to her that day. Y'all remember that? And I knew something was up then. And Megan had the baby. She never did come over there and try to cuddle with Archie or anything. How many people that you know that sees a baby like Archie and not come over to say, and that's your sister-in-law? You're not gonna come over to see the baby, hold the baby, engage with the baby? That tells you everything you need to know about Kate. I'm just saying. Let's go on. Uh, this particular swati said this. It said, I think the royal family's goal is for Harry to think, uh, I guess to think leaving her would bring her peace. So she said, I think the royal family's goal is for Harry to think that leaving her, meaning Meghan, would bring her peace. Ultimately, I think they want to torment Meghan to unaliving herself, like they had initially intended when she lived among them, and or to have one of their deranged fans to unalive her. Meghan is God protected. And and that's why Harry won't bring her over there. It just don't even make sense how they villainize Meghan for her excellence. And that's all it is. And also opening Harry's eyes that he won't be that person anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy. It says every time Harry is publicly lauded, There are attacks on his wife. The goal is to wear her out so she leaves him. And I believe that, but I tell you what, I don't believe Meghan will ever leave him. Meghan has steel in her back. She ain't gonna leave Harry. She loves Harry. And Harry definitely is not gonna leave Meghan. And Meghan has steel in her back. You know, she comes from a people who overcome slavery. She came from a people who overcame. Why would Meghan stop? She's not. So we'll pray for her. And also this right here. This is true right here. This is what the toxic British media doesn't want you to see. The fact that the heir and his maybe wife are in the shadow of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan. And there you go. That's it right there. That's it. They are in their shadows. You remember when that reporter, they did that, we still back at the walkabout, and that CNN reporter was reporting on the walkabout, and he said everybody was so surprised when they got out of the car, Harry and Meghan and the other royals. I'm telling you, the British media lost its shit attacking that reporter when he was just speaking the truth. Harry and Meghan got out of the car, and so did the other royals. They just can't handle the truth. They can't. But yeah, Harry and Meghan cast a long, big, long shadow over them. And they cannot handle it because they can't live up to what Harry and Meghan does. Harry and Meghan outworks them, outclass them, and they're just more interesting than they are. Even Kate with cancer. Nobody cares because nobody believes it now. And that is another sentiment that is growing faster and faster. I'm seeing it more and more and more. And when a reporter, one of those flying monkeys, posts something on X, formerly known as Twitter, they be all up in their comments saying that Kate doesn't have cancer. So they know, they're aware that a lot of people don't believe that nonsense. That's why I don't think they're getting, Kate now mention her having cancer a lot, when they want to play on the sympathy. Because, she got a deck of cards. She got a sympathy card, she got a victim card, she got a cancer card, and she just got a deck of them things. But have you noticed they don't play on it that much? Not on them panels. Because they know people don't believe that nonsense. She jumping on hay bales and doing all that stuff with all that hair on her head. That's ridiculous. And says she done had 9 months of chemotherapy and don't know if she can show up for anything. But when she make plans for something, she knows she's gonna feel good that day. It's just nonsense. All right, let's go on. I wanted to talk about this too. This is being talked about a lot on Twitter. And I know if you are a new squatty, you probably hadn't heard about it. And this is a good time to talk about it. I'm going to put it up here. And this squatty, this person posted this. It said, Meghan should not let this opportunity slip away. Meghan should sue the Hollywood Reporter. By so doing, some truths will be revealed about the conspirators of this character assassination. And I agree 100%. That's why I said Meghan should let Ari off his chain. Let him run whatever, run that, pull that string, pull that thread and run it to the ground and find out where all this nonsense is coming from and expose them all. That's what he needs to do. But let's talk about this. Actor Simon Rex says he was offered $70,000 by an unnamed UK tabloid to say he slept with Meghan Markle. You remember that? And he did a movie with Meghan. They found out he did a movie with Meghan. This was before the marriage. They went to him and found out that him and Meghan, nothing went on with them. They went out for a coffee or something. It was nothing romantic or anything like that. This is what he told them. And he, said that she was a great person. He enjoyed doing the movie with her. And they said if he would lie and said he actually had sex with Meghan, they would give him $70,000. And I believe it was the Daily Fail, my belief. But it's an unknown tabloid. He never said who the tabloid was. But I bet you nobody didn't push back on what he said because they know he probably has some receipts. So they stayed quiet about that. But yeah, yes, they did that. I mean, Meghan had to come up against some stuff. They wanted to when they found out Meghan and Harry was dating, and I believe William and Kate dropped that down. When they found it out, and old long faced Camilla Tominey wrote that article about Harry's new girl, when they dropped that, they went about trying to smear her as they every which way they could. And the $70,000, I would not be surprised that it didn't come from the palace. On, on, they never wanted Harry to marry Meghan because they saw what Harry had found. They didn't want Harry to marry her. I'm just saying. And I would not be surprised that money didn't come from the palace. All right, I wanted to end on this. Let's see. I wanted to end on this. When I said it's a certain element, I found this article, this in the Daily Fail. And when I said it's a certain element, a woman or a person that hate Meghan because she lives a soft life, meaning that she has nice things, that she lives in a nice big old house, things that some people feel that a woman of color should not have access to, that it troubles their spirit when they see a woman of color have nice things. I told y'all in a former podcast about Kamala Harris earrings, how they was talking about, I think they were like $1,800, and they were saying her earrings cost $1,800. So what? She works hard. She should be able to purchase anything and everything that she wants to. But it's an element of a segment of this population of Great Britain and America. I'm not excluding America, especially America, to tell you the truth, who feels like women of color should not have certain things, should not have access to the best. Harry should have married an English rose, not a black woman from California or America, because they xenophobic too. Let's not forget that. They hate America. But yet and still they copy everything we do. I'm just saying. When Charles had his coronation, I don't think it was a British entertainer on there. They were all Americans. And maybe it was a few. But the ones who really the top tier ones was American. But they have a problem with us. And I don't understand why. I don't think the British people have a problem with us, but I know the upper aristocratic level of the Brits do. Somehow they feel better than, I guess. And what they don't understand, or maybe it's the fact that we Americans don't care. We don't care about their class system. We just don't. But let me get into this. I'll get on a tangent, y'all. But this is Jan Moore, this Cyclops, who was down in Montecito for Harry's birthday. And now she has been down to Montecito again, uh, spying and stalking Meghan. And she wrote this article Inside Meghan's Montecito. Jan Moore visit the Californian home of the Duchess and find out exactly why she may never want to leave. Why would she want to leave? America is her home, Jan. California is her home state, Jan. What are you talking about? And then she goes on and describes she is a full on stalker. She goes to a dress boutique where she said Megan probably shops. And the minute I saw them advertising that Godmother's bookstore, I knew that they were going to be over there. And that's exactly what she was talking about that. Even went in the grocery store and took, I'm going to put a picture of it, took pictures of the vegetables that Megan might be buying in the grocery store. Just nonsense stuff. And just talked about the luxury of Montecito. And all of this is their way of trying to drum up hatred towards Meghan, saying that she has this luxury lifestyle and you should hate her for it. Not because she earned it. You know, not look at Kate's lifestyle. And y'all pay for that. And you supposed to hate Megan because of what she's earned? Make it make sense. But anyway, this article is another nonsense article that they have put together to try to drum up hate against a woman who has done nothing to nobody except earn her own way all her life. She came in that family with a luxury lifestyle that she had earned. She came in there as a millionaire. But yet and still they want to talk about her lifestyle, her yoga classes, her jewelry. Even went to the jewelry store where Megan had bought some jewelry. Just nonsense, old stupid stuff. You fly 5,000 miles to stalk a woman who left y'all because she was tired of you. And here you are. Anyway, all right, y'all. So I'm gonna do is just a few more things I want to say. Oh yeah, I wanted to say this about Jan Moore. I'm gonna put this up. She actually is the one who called Meghan a dumb mutt in an article. Yes, she did. They did, and they allowed that in their national papers. That's what Meghan had to contend with. This cross-eyed cyclops who looks like the underbelly of a, I'm not gonna say, but yeah, look at her. Mad with Megan because Megan's smart, beautiful, and has a soft life. Stop it. And had the nerve to call her a dumb mutt. Out of here. That stupid stuff. All I want to say, I want to talk about Betty Reed. She is the oldest ranger in she was the oldest ranger in our National Park Service until she retired 2 years ago at age 100. Yes. And so she turned, not today, it was a couple of days back, but it says today she turned 103. Can you believe that? I love it. I love it. So I had to put that in there. And I also wanted to remind y'all that Harry loves Meghan. Harry loves Meghan, and Meghan loves Harry. And all this other nonsense does not even matter. Just saying. And also, when you see a cartoon, it's a reminder, Harry, don't trust some people. They might have your blood in them, but they don't have your best interest at heart. They got the knives out for you all the time. And don't eat their food. All right, y'all. Bye.